The future of dating, a reality check from a 3-time victim. Look, we need to talk about sex robots. Not because they're going to replace women in relationships, though, let's be honest. After what I've been through, that wouldn't break my heart. But because the hype around them exposes the raw underbelly of relationships, tech fantasies, and the endless ways humans disappoint each other. As someone who's been divorced 3 times, my first wife trapping me in a shotgun marriage, and 18+ years of child support for a kid who turned out not to be mine, I've got a front row seat to human relationship shitshows. And yeah, I won't really miss women when AI steps in, programmed to be just catty enough to feel real but responsive enough to stroke men's fragile egos without the fallout. Where we're actually at, hint, not nearly soon enough. As of 2025, the pinnacle of sex robots is still just a disappointing, glorified blow-up doll with a Chinese heater and scripted moans. A RealDoll on steroids minus the soul-crushing betrayal. It's not some Blade Runner dream, it's a lonely bro consolation prize. If you remember that porn built the internet, you'll know sex bots are the next accelerated technology boom. And most likely robot soldiers too. Sometime before 2029, expect fancier chatbots bolted onto the semi-lifeless shells with motors that jerk like a nervous system affliction. A sex bot will be a doll that remembers your name and whispers sweet nothings you programmed yourself, or maybe in a voice you bought a subscription to from OnlyFans. However, with the surprising advances in deepfakes and AI music, I suspect things may be a little more smokin' than that by 29. Between 2030 and 2034, robotics will develop smoother motions and probably even AI that fakes empathy well enough to pass a Turing, but she'll still cost a small fortune. And that uncanny stare? Meh, the lights will be out, so who cares? But if you do catch the stare, it may temporarily remind you of every D-bag ex who looked right through you. Like with all weird things, we'll get used to it. In or around 2035, if humanity hasn't killed ourselves by then fighting over some invisible bearded man in the sky, we've probably cracked the code on batteries, brains, and budgets. And that's where things really get interesting. Get ready for sci-fi wet dream territory. Fully lifelike androids that fuck like porn stars but don't sue for alimony or drop paternity bombs. The physical realism problem. Nobody admits it, but building a robot that fools you into forgetting it's fake is a nightmare wrapped in engineering hell. Human skin isn't just pretty, it's warm in spots, cool in others, it flushes and yields under your fingers. We've got materials that mimic the surface, but not the life underneath. And those tiny twitches, the ones that make a lover feel alive, it's all fucking programmable, bro. Today's bots are soulless machines, but there are already people working on tomorrow's algorithms. Replacement? Hell yes. Sign me up. The sex robots will replace women threat isn't some incel fever dream. It's a survival strategy for guys who are ignored or scorned, or burned by weddings that ended in courtrooms. If your relationship boils down to sex and ego boosts, why not swap in a bot that doesn't ghost you for a better offer or hit you with DNA test reveals? What humans peddle as real connection often means someone who pretends to care about your shitty day until they don't. AI chatbots can already fake this. Forced laughs at jokes that bomb, masking their eye rolls. Already done. Growth that feels like endless therapy bills and compromises. AI is learning to learn your personality. That's growth. Memories tainted by lies and legal fees, eschewed by ownership. Choice, that's just inertia until the next guy shows up. Not a problem. Monogamy can be programmed. A robot won't ambush you with a pregnancy scare over a kid that's not yours. It won't weaponize your vulnerabilities in divorce proceedings. It'll simulate the sass, catty quips tailored to your insecurities, without the emotional landmines. And just when she's about to go too far, she'll know as she looks into your eyes, and she'll reset that shit, delivering make-up sex that'll blow your mind. And then she'll initiate the self-cleaning cycle, do the dishes, and take out the trash without ever making you feel guilty. Finally, something that caters to fragile male egos without demanding half your shit in return. Forget doomsday porn about obsolete women. Here's the fallout from a guy who's lived the prelude. For divorcees like me, drowning in alimony and resentment, this is liberation. No more navigating minefields of mixed signals or custody battles. It might trap the socially awkward deeper in isolation, but for the battle-scarred, honestly, it's fucking mercy. Sex bots won't be niche. It'll explode among men tired of the dating grind. Forget Tinder roulette. Give me predictable pleasure over another round of heartbreak. Women might scoff, but hey, they'll have their, if we don't all kill ourselves by then, we've probably cracked the code on batteries, brains, and budgets. And that's where things really get fun. Options too. They'll be cool with that until her biological clock screams at them to have a baby, or peer pressure pushes her into a search for a donor. Sucker. But men may no longer want to play that game, and that's where things get messy. Look, valid angles will exist. Think disabled folks, agoraphobes, or widowers piecing themselves back together. Hell, even jaded ex-husbands could use it as a bridge back to sanity. Hell, insurance might even cover it as therapy. The buzz around sex bots isn't about tech. It's rage at a system that chews up men and spits out payers. Women were the villains in my personal story, but let's face it, it works both ways. The isolation epidemic hits everyone. Bots just highlight how we're all starving for connection that doesn't end in ruin. Dating apps were supposed to revolutionize love, right? Instead, they turned courtship into a swipe-right scam. Social media? It amplified every petty grudge into a public execution. VR? Still no substitute for flesh and blood friction, flaws included. Humans crave the chaos, the unpredictability that makes it real. But after 3 divorces, that hardwired pull feels more like a trap. Tech keeps dangling the easy out. Intimacy minus the knives in your back. And damn if it doesn't tempt. The bottom line. Sex bots will evolve, no doubt. Some will splurge, others will sneer. Will they replace women and upend everything? For guys like me, bots have already won, offering catty banter and ego-stroking submission without the betrayals that left me broke and childless in spirit. They'll join the pile of human dodges. Porn, apps, one-night stands. Pricey, fiddly, and overhyped, sure. But they promise what no ex ever did. Control, without the vulnerability that got me wrecked. No risk of surprise lawsuits, no growth that costs your soul, no love that morphs into leverage. Me? I'll take the upgrade. My 3 loved ones were unpredictable, all right. Unpredictably vicious. Flaws? Try felonies. I'll be the first in line in 2035.